It wouldn't be deadline day without some drama between transfer journalists. One journalist is saying this, one journalist is saying that. Sky Sports is saying this, Romano's saying this. As you can tell by the thumbnail, big news has come out within the last hour, coming out from Florian Plettenberg, who normally is a very credible journalist, has said that Arsenal are interested in a potential deadline day move for Sandro Tonali. Now, before we get into the actual report, Sandro Tonali is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. What is the likelihood of him leaving Newcastle on deadline day when there is less than 9 hours left? I think before anyone calls me down for being a clickbait merchant, whatever you want, I think this is highly unlikely. What I will say is, though, could Arsenal potentially bring someone in on loan between now and the next 8 or 9 hours? Could be likely, and it depends on the severity of Mikel Merino's injury, because after all, that is what started all of the transfer gossip. Mikel Merino, according to David Ornstein yesterday, is going to be out for some time due to a injury in his foot. I believe it's a broken toe or a broken bone in his foot. David Ornstein put it out yesterday to say that the Arsenal midfielder is expected to miss a considerable amount of time with a suspected broken bone in foot. Arsenal surveying market for a potential loan. A short-term cover for the 29-year-old Spanish international. No guarantee if anything materializes before the deadline day. Now, this could be complete agent talk. This could be complete BS. But I want to talk about the story for a couple of minutes. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We just hit 88,000 subscribers, and now we're steamrolling our way towards 100,000. We're already at 81.1k, which is just absolutely obscene. Now, this transfer story has got a lot of people talking. Now, first things first I want to say is Florian Plettenberg normally is very, very good, right? Exclusive. Arsenal are exploring a surprising deadline day move for Sandro Tonali. Very difficult at this stage as Newcastle have rejected an initial approach. Now, I don't think this deal will be happening, but he, in an Arsenal shirt, potentially could be one for the summer. Now, Sandro Tonali, for me, if anyone who's watched this channel for a long time, whenever I cover Newcastle United, he is one of the best midfielders in the league. And that's not even close. He is absolutely fantastic. He's played 7 games in the Champions League, 24 in the Premier League, 1 in the FA Cup, 3 in the League Cup. He's been at Newcastle United since 2023. And as you can see by transfermarket.co.uk, his contract expires June 30th, 2028, which is only 2 and a bit years away now. He's an out-and-out DM, which could, if he were to join Arsenal, he could go in and maybe play as a DM, and then they could have Zubimendi and Rice rotating as the 8. They could have Odegaard, Everett Chiese, Havertz rotating in the 10, Max Dalman when he's back. But I just don't see this happening. Now, what's really, really interesting is another credible journalist has come out and again said this could be happening. Now, I'm just trying to find the report coming out from Nico Schreier, who again is another credible journalist. And he has said in the last hour or so that Arsenal have shown interest in Sandro Tonali. Newcastle would ask for £100 million. I do not see a world in which Arsenal drop £100 million on deadline day. But again, it's another credible journalist. Arsenal showing interest in Sandro Tonali and are really working to sign him, offered a contract until 2031 with a very rich salary to convince Tonali to join AFC. It's not simple. The time is short. Newcastle ask £100 million and would not want to sell the midfielder. So you've got 2 credible journalists coming out and saying that. Then Fabrizio Romano, who hasn't been the best this transfer window has retweeted from Luke Edwards from The Telegraph. Newcastle have described stories claiming Arsenal have made a late attempt to sign midfielder Sandro Tonali is stupid and a complete rubbish. But other than that, it's a good story. Now, the club could come out and quite easily play the story down and then brief the media that it is complete nonsense when there could actually be legs in the story. It's just unlikely. And this is where, unless it's David Ornstein coming out and saying this, who hasn't, as it stands, commented on the story, Romano has got a number of things wrong. And I'm going to stand on that. This month, he has got a couple of things wrong. And I just don't see, I don't see, I don't see him, coming out and commenting on this. He's he likes to stay out of all the drama on social media when it comes to reporters. And the last thing he tweeted out was about a Southampton player, and that was an hour ago. So at the moment, you've got this person saying that person saying this. I don't think it will happen. However, this could be one to watch for the summer. It's going to be a very, very interesting summer transfer window coming up. Now, Romano has come out in the last 45 minutes and said Arsenal are exploring a move for 18-year-old striker who's already been capped by Scotland, James Wilson. An initial loan being discussed club to club. Now, would that be coming in to replace Mikel Merino? Potentially. Now, let's have a look at James Wilson and have a look at what he can actually bring to, Arsenal potentially. Well, he is, as it stands, he's 18 years of age. He's got Scotland and Northern Ireland citizenship, currently playing for Hearts. His record, playing for Hearts as an academy player, as an under-18s player, he's played 83 times, and he's currently got 27 goals and 9 assists. So what's that? 36 GA. Has he played in the Conference League? He's played 3 times and scored 1 goal. He's played in the Europa League qualifying. He's played in the Scottish Championship and got 5 goals and 1 assist as an 18-year-old. Is he potentially going to come in and get over the line and potentially play as a third, maybe fourth choice striker while Mikel Merino is out injured? That is probably more likely. And what I will say is Arsenal between now and the end of February and March time have a lot of football to play. They've got to play Chelsea tomorrow. They've got to play Sunderland on Saturday, Brentford on Thursday. And then I believe the Wolves game could be later this month as well. They could have a double game week for anyone who plays FBL. And then the last game of the month, they have got a North London derby against us. Then you get into March where they'd have Chelsea, Brighton. They could have a cup final against Man City or Newcastle, Everton, Wolves. That game will be getting moved forward. So then you can have the next round of the Champions League. Rotation is going to be very, very, very important. Now, let me know your thoughts. Do you think this 18-year-old potentially can come in? I'm gonna be the first person to say I don't really know much about this player. Like a lot of us, who knows what's going to happen with him? But for me, I think that's probably more likely at this stage than, for instance, a Sandro Tonali getting over the line. It's going to be a very, very interesting 8 or 9 hours remaining in the deadline day. If I hear anything or see any other stories, I will obviously drop a video on those. But in terms of Tonali, I don't, personally see a situation where they go out and actually sign this guy. I think it's more likely, as it stands right now, that Sandro Tonali stays at Newcastle. By the way, they just rejected a loan move from Fulham to sign Joe Willock, so I doubt they're going to let Tonali go. They have got some previous and current injury concerns to their midfield. They've lost their last 2 games. In terms of the midfield options, they've got Jolinton out injured. They've got potentially Willock leaving, and Sandro Tonali. I doubt he leaves. Bruno Guimaraes is still injured as well. I don't see him leaving. I just don't see it happening. But let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.